Always wonderful to see so many people joining here at the temple. Uh, Always a joy to pray together, always a joy to come together here in our sacred space. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir hadash. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir hadash. Sing unto God, all the earth, a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God, and we'll all sing along. All the earth, a new song unto God. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir hadash. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir hadash. Sing unto God, all the earth, a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God, and we'll all sing along. All the earth, a new song unto God. Last time, Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir hadash. Shir hadash. I know there are some of you that might not have heard that song before. You might not have heard that song in a while. So get a little bit of extra practice in this evening as we join together in song for this beautiful, wonderful day. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. It is my honor to welcome up Carla Ramirez, our a board member and one of our wonderful members to lead us in lighting the Shabbat candle. You should have a green light.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת. Amen. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallow us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the lights of Shabbat. Amen.
Ma yafe hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Ma yafe hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. As we join together in Lecha Dodi, a mystical prayer welcoming Shabbat's presence into our lives, we join together in song, and as we reach the final verse of Lecha Dodi, I'll ask at that time for the congregation to rise and turn toward the entryway of our sacred space. If you're joining us remotely, you may rise and turn toward the entry of wherever you are praying from which an honored guest would enter. And as always, if it is difficult to physically rise, one should remain seated while rising in your heart as we all raise our hearts in prayer. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor וזכור בדיבור אחד, ישמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתחילה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. ימין ושמאל תפרוצי, ואת אדוני תעריצי, על יד איש בן פרצי, ונשמחה ונגילה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, Pene Shabbat nekabela, lechadodi likat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Please be seated. Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer on the mystery of the withered leaf, on ripened fruit so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew our days. Lest my day be today as the one before, less routine set my ways. Yitgadal vayitkadash shemei Rabba, be'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala, ba'agala, ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה, יתברך, יתברך, וישתבח, ויתפאר, ויתרומם, ויתנשא, ויתהדר, ויתעלה, ולהתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירם בעלמא, ויאמרו Amen. Please rise now for the Baruch. Yalalai lai lai, 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 yalalai lai lai. Yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai. Baruchu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam va'ed. Le'olam va'ed. Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai. Ya la 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 la. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the seasons, arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzivaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv aravim. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol, all these your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works, and the living language that gives it form. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Vared. You may be seated. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך, ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. Ani Adonai Elohechem. We read together in the English translation. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments, and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God. Adonai Elohechem Emet. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 lai. Micha mocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi kamocha nedar v'kodesh, no hilot osef ele, no tehilot osef ele. Malchutecha ra'u vanecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, ze eli anu v'amru, Ze Eli anu ve'ameru, Adonai imloch לעולם ועד. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. Yai lai lai la lai la lai la lai lai lai. Yai lai lai la lai la lai la lai. Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 lai. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Ushmor tzeitenu uvoenu lechaim ulshalom me'ata ve'ad olam. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. We read together in the English translation. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace, and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמעו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, Shavat vayinafash v'shamhu v'nei Yisrael et hashabat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time. It is a sign for all time between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day God ceased from work and was refreshed. Please rise. Adonai sifatai tiftahu fi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai sifatai tiftahu fi yagi tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומר חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם, זרע שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה, רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. You may be seated, if it is your custom. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubts, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answers to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel who might seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otecha levadecha b'yirah na'avod. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among the inhabitants of our world. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Adonai, who blesses your people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamevarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. We continue now in silent prayer. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. ואמרו Amen. Well, if I knew all we needed was a update to our security procedures to garner a crowd, we would do this every week. Check your email in the coming week. We're going to totally change the security procedures again, so everybody will come back next week. I'm going to do something a little bit different because it's a little bit different crowd, some different faces than I'm used to seeing. Some of you are visiting us just in town from halfway around the world. Some of you from right around the corner, and it's wonderful to see so many people here. I imagine that a number of you who certainly are happy to come on any given week may have been especially compelled this week by the announcements from our board that we're updating the security procedures, based on some concerns that we've had recently and in the past. Is that a fair guess on my part? Okay. I see a few nodding heads. You'll have to come back. I know some of you are saying, "I come here every week, Rabbi." I know that you're here every week. I'm not I'm not ignoring anybody. I'd like to speak to that rather than another sermon. I think it's apropos to speak to that. And as it happens, we're in the Torah portion that is sort of all about security procedures. Did you know this? Did you know there's a whole Torah portion just for security procedures? It's true. So we have you know the story of Jacob, okay? He's got a brother, Jacob and Esau. They're twins. They don't get along. Anybody have a sibling or kids that don't always get along? Hopefully they're not as bad as Jacob and Esau. Jacob and Esau were night and day. One was a total jock. That's Esau. He was always out, running around, hunting, what we might call a meathead. And on the other hand, you had Jacob, who, liked to hang around at home, liked to, spend time with his mom cooking, did the gardening, these types of things. It was more, I think it's usually translated homespun. I don't know what homespun is, but maybe that's a little more descriptive for our patriarch Jacob. Now, needless to say, just because two siblings are very different doesn't mean they can't get along. Sometimes siblings don't get along because they're too similar, but that is certainly not the case here. You had Jacob and Esau, who did not get along. And Esau probably used his strength, his charisma, his just forceful attitude to get what he wanted from his brother. And Jacob, fittingly for the archetype, used his mind, but not only using his mind in a very particular way, he was a wheeler-dealer. You know this term, wheeler dealer? He was always looking to take advantage of whatever situation he was presented with. And he got help from his mom as well, who, well, that's another sermon for another week. You got to wait till next year for that one. Jacob, in one of these dealings, got his father's blessing. We don't know exactly what this consists of, the blessing of Isaac. We know that there is a special blessing that was passed from Abraham to Isaac and then from Isaac to Jacob, and that special blessing is what makes us Israel. It's what makes us Jews, that special blessing being passed on is our inheritance as well. But what exactly that blessing consisted of or what the significance of it is, we can leave up to scholars to debate. Regardless, we know that it was important enough to Jacob and important enough to Esau that they would take whatever measures needed to get that blessing from their father, and Jacob did just that. He impersonated his brother, took advantage of his father Isaac, who later in life was almost completely blind, and he got that special blessing. In the process, he made an enemy of his brother. He was so afraid of his brother Esau that he ran away and didn't come back for decades. Now, in those decades, a lot transpired. That's last week's Parsha. But this week's Parsha, Vayishlach, begins, Jacob sent messengers ahead to his brother Esau. This is setting the scene of the reunion between these two brothers. One who was so afraid that his brother would kill him, he fled, and one about whom we know nothing. Esau. What has Esau been doing for all these years? We don't know. But we do know that he was successful in his own right. Jacob, towards the end of last week's Parsha, is told by one of his scouts that he sends ahead that his brother Esau is coming and bringing 400 men with him. I like to picture them on Harleys. You know, the motorcycle. This is a tough crowd tonight. You know this is especially for you. This is, all right. The 400 men. That's pretty scary. We don't know who they were or why they were there. We're not told, but 400 men. So Jacob, always the thinker, always the planner, says, all right, this is an unknown security situation. My brother Esau, I've got the intelligence ahead of time. My brother Esau has 400 men with him. That is a potential threat. Okay. What assets do I have? Well, I don't have any warriors, but I have a lot of livestock. Maybe there's a way that I can address this threat before it shows up at my door. So he sends livestock ahead as gifts to his brother. He says, hey, I come in peace. And he sends these in waves so that each gift is followed by an even larger gift than the one before it. So he's imagining, okay, maybe my brother is so angry he's going to come and kill me, but maybe I can change his mind with these gifts. He imagines his brother not just receiving one gift, but gift after gift, and each one grander than the next. And then, remember, these are all on foot. So this takes a little while to happen. So finally, his brother is about a day's journey away. He knows, as the sun is setting, that in the morning he'll see his brother, that they are bound to meet. They are close enough together. And Jacob says, okay, there's a river here. I need to take additional precautions. We need additional measures because maybe my brother is going to be calmed down. Maybe he's going to be pleased with me and these gifts that I'm sending him. But I don't know. It is an unknown security threat. So what does he do? He says, okay, I'm going to take half of my family and my possessions and send them that way. I'm going to take the other half of my family and send them that way. And I'm going to go on ahead myself, alone. This is a tough decision. Imagine this situation. It's an unknown danger. So he heads out. Why does he send half his family this way and half his family that way? Well, best case scenario, maybe my brother comes to kill me and then goes right through and misses my family because they've gone this way and that way. Or even if he comes and kills me and then kills half of my family, the other half will escape. He doesn't have a lot of options. But he also does this along a river. He knows that this is a physical barrier that will surely stop or slow down his brother. So what do we have here? We have a physical barrier, physical security, sometimes called plant security, right? We have human security, intelligence, trying to get information about a possible threat, and taking measures to mitigate a possible threat. And the last part of the story is the most important. Because Jacob, going on his own to meet his brother, that takes courage. Presumably, he could have gathered up what was left of his family and run the other way. He could have gone back to his uncle, asked for his old job back, and never had to face this potential threat. But he had courage, maybe for the first time in his life. He took the risk of showing up to meet his brother. And it is a risk, showing up. In today's world, we know that anti-Semitism is on the rise. We know that there are people out there who, for one reason or another, just don't like Jews. We know that we have been the scapegoat for thousands of years. Anytime someone has problems, well, who's nearby that we can blame? Who do we think won't cause too much trouble? We'll blame the Jews. I mean, that's how we end up here, right? Or one of the ways. We know that attacks against Jews have been increasing. Most of them nonviolent, Baruch Hashem. But we know that sometimes there are serious threats. And so we take precautions. Like Jacob, we have physical security. We have personnel. We have intelligence so that we can learn best practices. And like Jacob, we still show up. the fact that despite everything that's going on in the world, this is probably the largest attendance for a regular Shabbat service without any special program, children's program or uh, special presentation in a while, tells me that you are brave, that you are not going to let fear dictate your actions, that you are not going to shutter the doors, turn tail, and run, that there are some risks that are worth taking. Not blindly, not foolishly. We take sensible precautions up to the point where there are no more precautions we can take, and then we go. We go into that situation, that potential danger, trusting that we've done all we can to protect our loved ones and ourselves, and having faith in God for the rest. Jacob's faith pays off. He sees his brother still much larger than him, still with an army at his back, comes running towards him as they meet in a field. His brother Esau comes running towards him, and Jacob doesn't know what to think. He doesn't know what's going to happen. He hasn't seen his brother in decades. He doesn't know what his brother has on his mind. And yet his brother, as they come within arm's length, takes his arms and wraps them around Jacob. Jacob, on the first day of becoming Israel, becoming the person he was meant to be, like his grandfather Abraham, who was born Abram and whose name was changed when he became who he was meant to be, like his grandmother Sarah, who was born Sarai and whose name was changed when she became who she was meant to be. Jacob's name was changed that very day to Israel because he became who he was meant to be. And to this day, we are called the people of Israel. We're the descendants, literally or spiritually, however you'd like to place it in your mind. We are the descendants of Israel. We're the descendants of Jacob on that day who did what needed to be done, who used his sechel, used his common sense, and then took the brave step. And for him it paid off. He found love and reconciliation. He went on to live a life of prosperity. His children became the 12 tribes of Israel. They became us. Like Jacob, we need to be courageous to become who we are meant to be. And the fact that we are here this evening especially tells me we are courageous. We're not going anywhere. We're not going to turn around. And we are going to take every sensible precaution, just like our forefather did, and then step courageously forward. Shabbat Shalom. As always, at this time in our service, we take a moment to say a prayer of healing for all of those who are in need of healing. We ask for God to be with all of those nearby or around the world who are suffering from acts of violence or acts of nature, all of those who are living under oppressive regimes or living under the specter of war. We ask for God to be with all of those frontline healthcare workers, all of our first responders, and all of the members of our armed services. May God watch over them and protect them as they watch over and protect us. And in particular, we ask for God's healing presence to be with Salvador Marroquin, Debbie Braffman, Charlie Yingling, Les Stein, Beth Farb, Carol Bredenberg, John Shields, Sharon Ellenbogen, Bev Robb, Sam Kesselman, Susanna Wernick, Sylvia Tauber, Laura Bataya Cavasso, Zez Shmuel Ben Shlomo, Mayor Ben Esther, James Dutremaine, Candy London, and Rochelle Cinder. If you are praying for someone in your own circle of concern who is in need of healing at this time, you may share their name aloud as I look to you. If you're joining us remotely, you may post their name in the chat or speak their name aloud or in your heart, and God will hear. As always, if you know of someone whose name should be included in our public prayers, contact myself or Eddie during the week so that we can pray for their healing together. As we join together now in the Mishaberach Lecholim, a prayer of healing. Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. May God's healing come swiftly and soon to all those in need of healing as we say, Amen. O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and in spirit. Amen. Avinu Shabbat Tzur Yisrael v'Golo, Barech et Medinat Yisrael, Reshit Tzmichat Geulatenu. O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen. As we reach the concluding portion of our service, I ask the congregation to rise once again. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת עוזו בגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום, והשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים, בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ, מתחת אין עוד. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. You may be seated. There are stars up above, so far away that we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we love. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. At this time, we remember all of those in our own community who have been laid to rest in recent weeks, including David Howard Gluck, as well as all those who have died and been laid to rest in the past year, including William Bishop, Marvin Davis, Debbie Ann Getz, Rebecca Schneiderman, Lotta Tenser, Albert Bishop, Bobby Gerwitz, Elena Buder, Ignacio Iggy Alfredo Almorza, Ruben Zamora Sr., Arturo Mendoza, Oscar Tauber, Juan Rangel, Erwin Hahn, Jack Wernick, Jose A. Almorza, Dr. Jose A. Majeres. We also remember those whose yahrzeit occurs this week, the anniversary of their death, including Moshe Gelda, Esther O. Klein, Aaron Heller, Carmela Heller, Marcos Wolowski, John Brown, Leonard Leonard, Sarah Gerwitz, and Leonard Croman. If you are in a period of mourning, you may now rise and share the name of the person you are remembering. If it is your custom to stand with those who mourn, you may rise now for the Kaddish. Yitgadal vayitkadash shemei Rabba, be'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlech malchutei, be'chayechon u'vyomechon u'v'chay dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevarach Le'alam Ul'almei Almaya Yitbarach Vayishtabach Vayitpa'ar Vayitromam Vayitnaseh Vayithadar Vayit'alev Vayithalal Shmei D'Kedusha Berichu L'Oila Min Kol Birchata V'Shirata Tushbechata V'Nechemata Da'amiram B'Alma V'Imru Amen Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya V'chayim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'Imru Amen Osei Shalom Bimromav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'Imru Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to all the world, to which we say, Amen. You may be seated, except for Mike Blum, our board member on the Bima this evening. Mike, thanks for being here.
It's my pleasure to be here and welcome you all to this rather significant cultural event this evening. Rabbi, I thought your sermon was rather spot on. And in the name of Israel, let me read this. I'm going to try to read this. It's small fonts. It's not in my font size, but I'll try. Welcome. And thank you for joining us this evening in our beautiful sanctuary and for attending services in present or remotely. If those of you who are remote have something you'd like to offer, please put it in the chat and we'll find the message and respond appropriately. Torah study begins tomorrow at 9 a.m. in the Temple Library. Saturday morning services at 10:30 on Facebook Live, on YouTube, and of course in person. We're going to have an Oneg Shabbat following this service, and you're all welcome to join us. Special thanks to Elizabeth Schneiderman, who is the Oneg hostess for this evening. Religious school is on track for Sunday at 9:45. Mr. Bimbaum and Mr. Dutremaine will be on call with your kids to help do what we do on Sunday morning. And in the context of that, coming up in the Hanukkah dinner on the 18th of this month is the Hanukkah dinner, but at 5 o'clock on the evening of the Hanukkah dinner is a musical event that's going to be led by the children of this religious school. And it's going to be an event that you all are going to want to come to, whether you have kids in this religious school or not, because these kids have been working really hard and they got some great stuff to do. And it's a joy to be able to participate with them. The Temple Youth Group is having a craft social at the Mercado District up on North 23rd Street this Sunday at on the 11th at 1 o'clock. Please RSVP to Sandy Terwill or the rabbi to let them know if you or your kiddos are going to be joining that group. There's a coffee and consciousness on Sunday at 5 o'clock here with the rabbi. Introduction to Judaism on Monday, December the 12th at 7:30 via Zoom. Hebrew school on Wednesday the 14th at 5 p.m. And the Hanukkah dinner, as I said a moment ago, is on the 18th. And it's gastrologically going to be a wonderful event because we haven't had one in a while. And I'm looking forward to potato latkes and all the things that go with it. We're getting excited about the Hanukkah dinner, and this year is going to be pretty extra special. I think, Carla, you have something to do with that, or maybe you don't. You're just giving me the look. She does. I know she does. She's just not acknowledging it. There's going to be bingo for those of you who are into bingo. There's prizes for those who win, and no prizes if you didn't win. Shabbat services will continue through the month, and on Saturday, the 24th of December, which is, I believe, Christmas Eve day, or Christmas Eve, but that day, Temple Emanuel is going to have a mitzvah day to put together Emily's meals to take to the families who need a meal. And that's going to be an event that this congregation will have an opportunity to participate in and do a little celebrating with our friends on the other side of this equation. There is a note on my notes of things to say that's not written in type because it was an afterthought, but it's in Sharpie, and it's in real big ink, Rabbi, that I can read. It says the gift shop will be open on Sunday from 10:30 to noon. Hanukkah's coming up, and the gift shop's a great place to buy Hanukkah gifts, and Deborah would love to see you there on Sunday if you don't have anything else to keep you busy. Thank you, Rabbi, for a great sermon. It was just spot on, and it's good to see so many people here tonight. Shabbat Shalom. Oh, yes, there are. It's in the small print. Yeah, you got to change your fonts on this thing. Small print. Birthdays. Paula Freed was on the 5th of December, and Ito Deutsch was yesterday, or actually 2 days ago, December 7th, a day that will live in infamy for those of us who remember. There are no anniversaries yet, but you never can tell what's going to happen soon. Thank you again.
Thank you, Mike. Shabbat Shalom. And one new announcement this week, be sure to return your lovely name tags on the table before you go so that they'll be waiting for you the next time you come back. Be sure to return those. It might have been in the small print. Our closing song this evening is Adon Olam. Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra le'ed nasa v'hefzo kol azai melech shemo nikra v'yacharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch nora v'hu haya v'hu ove v'hu yeh b'tifara v'hu echad ve'en sheni להמשיל לו להכבירה ולי ראשית ולי תכלית ולא העוז והמשרה והוא אלי וחי גואלי וצורחב לי בעת צרה והוא ניסי ומנוס לי מנת כוסי ביום מקרא בידו אפקיד רוחי בעת אישן ויעירה ועם רוחי גביעתי אדוני לי ולא יירא. We join together now in the Kiddush and Motzi for Shabbat. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who finding favor with us, sanctified us with mitzvot. In love and favor you made the holy Shabbat our heritage as a reminder of the work of creation. As first among our sacred days, it recalls the exodus from Egypt. You chose us and set us apart from the peoples. In love and favor you have given us your holy Shabbat as an inheritance. Praise to you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'vratzon הנחילנו זיכרון למעשה בראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת, והותנו כי Shabbat. Amen. L'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. B'te'avon, enjoy a nice piece of challah. There will be these challahs and more in our oneg. Of course, thank you as always to Amadeus for providing our challahs. He makes them himself every single week just because he likes doing it.